Hello and welcome to day 21. You're probably going to want to strap for this one, as today we're going to do Birds of Paradise, a hip opener. Also, it has a bind to it. But yeah, we'll get started. We're going to come to the top of the mat with hands at heart center. Then on a deep inhale, sweeping those hands all the way up overhead, exhaling to fold forward. Then inhaling to your halfway lift with a flat back, exhaling to fold forward. Placing those hands, we're going to step back towards that downward dog. Pressing down through those heels, then inhaling to lift that right leg. We're going to bend that right knee, drawing that right heel over towards that left side, opening up through the right hip. Inhaling to come back towards center, then stepping that right knee over towards that right wrist, coming down towards that pigeon pose. Coming up onto those fingertips, we'll exhale to fold forward, inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower, inhaling to lift. One more time, exhaling to lower, and then inhaling to lift. On your next exhale, you can drop down towards that comfortable spot. Just resting here for a moment, stretching it through those hips, extending that breath towards any tightness, allowing that body to melt down and towards the earth. Holding here just for a couple more seconds. And then when you're ready, you can slowly start to lift, coming back up towards those fingertips. And then when you're ready, curling those left toes under, lifting up and stepping that right foot back towards that downward dog. Then inhale, sweep up that left foot, drawing that left heel over towards that right side, open up through that left hip. Then your next inhale, slowly rotating back towards center, then bringing that left knee over towards that left wrist, coming down towards that pigeon. Lifting back up towards those fingertips, exhaling, fold forward, inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower, inhale to lift, one more, exhaling to lower, and inhaling to lift. Then on exhale, melting down towards that comfortable spot, noticing how that left hip feels compared to that right, noticing if one side feels different than the other, letting go of any stress or any tension that you're holding on to in this moment. And just allowing yourself to set you free. Just relaxing here for a couple more breaths. Noticing the inhales and the exhales. And when you're ready, slowly starting to lift, coming up to those hands, then curling those right toes under, lifting up, stepping that left foot back towards that downward dog. Then when you're ready, we're going to slowly walk those feet towards the top of your mat, coming towards that forward fold. Then inhaling to your halfway lift, exhaling to fold forward, inhaling to come all the way to standing, hands overhead, and exhale the hands on the heart center. Then we're going to shift all that weight over and towards the left foot, coming to those toes, and then when you're ready, lifting that right knee up high. Then on exhale, we're going to push back, coming towards a warrior three, pushing it through those toes, keeping those hands at heart center. Then stepping that right foot back, we're going to come in towards that crescent lunge. Again, hands still at heart center. On exhale, we're going to slowly lower that right knee all the way down towards the ground, uncurling those toes. Then your next inhale, we're going to lift up those hands all the way up overhead, reaching it through those fingertips. On exhale, bend at those elbows, coming towards those cactus arms. On exhale, we're going to draw those elbows and hands together, rounding the spine. Then inhaling to open, maybe going back a little bit further, opening through the chest. Exhaling inwards, inhaling to open, exhaling inwards. Inhaling to open, maybe going a little bit deeper, finding that back bend. Exhaling to open. And then inhaling, we'll just come back to neutral with a flat back. Then inhaling those hands all the way back up overhead. And then on exhale, we're going to drop those hands to the inside of that left leg, coming towards that lizard pose. Walking that left leg out a little bit further if you need to. And then this is where we're going to come in towards our bind. So if you need your strap, you can grab onto that strap, or you can use those hands. So we're just going to rotate that left hand underneath that left leg, and then drawing that right hand back behind just to find that slight little balance with that right leg still on the ground. Then grab it onto that strap if you need to. I would keep it into that right hand so it's dangling down to grab it with the left hand. Just if this is not in your practice with open shoulders, the strap will be perfect for you. So we'll just let go of that strap, place it off the side, going back towards that lizard pose, then curling those right toes under, lifting up, and stepping that left foot back towards that downward dog. Taking a moment here, then slowly walking those feet towards the top of your mat, coming towards that forward fold, then inhaling to lift with a flat back, exhaling to fold forward, inhaling to come all the way to standing, hands overhead, and exhale the hands on heart center. Then when you're ready, shifting that weight towards that right foot, slowly lifting up that left knee, lifting up high. Then when you're ready, slowly extending that left leg out back, coming towards that warrior three. Then slowly stepping that left foot down, coming towards that high lunge, hands to heart center. And then on your next exhale, dropping that left knee all the way down towards the ground, uncurling those toes. Then inhale, sweep those hands all the way up overhead, reaching it through those fingertips. Then exhaling to bend at those elbows, coming towards those cactus arms. Exhaling to fold inwards, drawing that elbow and hands together, rounding through the spine. Inhaling to open, drawing the chest towards the sky. Exhaling inwards. Inhaling to open. Exhaling inwards. Inhaling to open, maybe going a little bit deeper. Exhaling inwards. And then on inhale, just come back to neutral, flat back. Then inhaling to lift those hands all the way up overhead. And exhaling to fold forward, dropping those hands to the inside of that right foot. Again, shifting towards that lizard pose, wherever's comfortable. And then this will find the bind on the other side. So we'll draw that right shoulder underneath that right leg. And then grabbing onto those hands with that left hand, or using your strap here if needed. Just using whatever works for you. Maybe this is as far as you go today, and that's okay. Just getting used to that feeling of that bind. Well, you can still have balance through that left leg. Then when you're ready, slowly letting go, coming back towards that lizard. Then curling those left toes under, lifting up, stepping back towards that downward dog. On inhale, lift up that left leg. Then exhaling, step that left foot forward. And then this is where we're going to find that bind. So we're going to rotate that right foot out. So you want to line that back heel with that front heel as if it's a 90 degrees. And then this will draw that left shoulder under. The right hand will come to meet that left hand. Or if you need to, grabbing onto that strap. Using that strap to find that bind. And then we're going to slowly hop that right foot forward, coming towards the top of the mat, coming onto the toes of that left foot. And then I'm going to show you this again without a strap, as that is not my strongest side. So it's a little bit harder for me to do it with the strap. But again, hopping up towards the front, lifting up towards those toes, and then slowly lifting up that foot. And knowing that it's okay to fall out of this. This is a practice for everybody, and even I fell out. So just a matter of regrouping, finding that stance, finding that bind, and moving maybe a little bit slower with that breath. So slowly lifting up that left foot. Using that breath, bending through that knee. And then slowly lifting up. Again, if you lose that balance, just regroup. It's a tough pose. So here you can either keep that knee bent, or if you want, you can try and straighten out that leg. Again, this is my weaker side. So we'll come back down and then try and regroup again. Using that breath, finding a focal point to keep that balance. Listening to that body, listening to that breath. And then when you're ready, slowly coming out, shaking everything out, letting it all go. Then I'm just going to show you from the front, from just a standing stance. Again, maybe if the bind's as far as you can go, then that's fine. Just getting that feeling, or slowly lifting up and extending it through that leg. Just finding whatever works for you today. Shaking it all out. And then we're going to do the other side. So start at the top of the mat. On an inhale, sweep those hands all the way up overhead. Exhaling to fold forward. Inhaling to your halfway lift, flat back. Exhaling to fold forward. Then stepping back in towards that downward dog. And then on your next inhale, we're going to lift up that right leg. Then exhale and step that right foot forward between those hands. Then rotating out that left foot. And then rotating that right shoulder underneath. And then that left hand over top. Finding that bind. Again, grabbing that strap if you need to. Trying to grab as close as you can to those hands. Then walking that left foot forward. Lifting up towards those right toes. Finding that strong stance. Then when you're ready, you can slowly start to lift. Grounding in through that left foot. Lifting that right leg up as high as you can. And then again, straighten out through that leg if you choose to. If you don't like it straightened, you can always bend that knee back down. And then again, you can come back down towards the ground. If you choose, you can try it without a strap. Again, finding that stance. You don't need to go through the full thing, just grabbing onto that bind. And then slowly starting to lift that right leg up. And stretching it through that right leg. This is my stronger side. So obviously you're going to have a weaker and a strong side. That's just normal. And then again, I'll show you from the back view, just so you can see what it looks like. Again, this is your practice, so just meet yourself where you are. There's no judgment, and we're just here to have some fun. And then just shaking it all out, letting everything go. And we will see you for day 22.